Hear he, hear he. All hail, Lord Farquaad. Just kidding. It's Stitch. Lord Stitch.
Here we have Lord Stitch here. Is there any, you have any things you got to say? No.
He's
a little sleepy. I may or may not have woken him up.
Much better.
He's
than I
doing
thought
so
he would
well.
have.
Anyways.
Look at his face.
So you may be wondering, why are you torturing your cat? Like, what are you doing? Well, I thought it would be fun if we started off this episode, since it's October and it's spooky season. We should get into some black cat facts.
I agree.
I think
Good
that'd be
idea.
fun. Yes.
Start off the spooky season right.
Exactly. Let's start it off right. And you're staying here, mister. You're not moving nowhere. Okay. He's like, please help.
The I can't get over the crown.
I know, it's like huge. It's like so round. Where's my phone?
Oh, his poor face. Look at him. He is like not having it.
Mister, you look so good. You're the Royal Highness. You look great. You look fabulous. He's like contemplating everything. Don't worry, Stitch. You won't be here long. How's our king doing? Come back.
Is he with us?
I don't know. Oh, okay. He's alive. He's good. Okay. Let's get into these facts. Okay, so in ancient Egypt, black cats were revered in ancient Egypt, where they were associated with the goddess of Bastet, the goddess of home, fertility, and domesticity. Did I say that right? Domesticity? Anyways, the cats were seen as protectors and symbols of good luck, and killing a cat, especially a black one, was punishable by death. He didn't like that. He didn't like the sound of that. Let's take off the crown.
Which is crazy because nowadays black cats are seen as bad omens.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they were basically worshipped back then by the Egyptians in the ancient times. I mean, they even built statues and like even in
Mr. Stitch, hold on. Our king is getting a little flustered. Our king is in the nude.
it's just interesting because they were worshipped by the Egyptians in the ancient times, and then even in like their old scriptures and their paintings and things on like from like old pieces of like history that they found in like these pyramids, they've seen like pictures of like Egyptians with like a companion of a cat, and it's just very interesting.
It is interesting because it almost makes you question, like, why is it that they were like so worshipped in ancient Egypt, but in medieval Europe, which is my next fact, they were considered like you said, bad omen. So it says, in contrast to ancient Egypt, black cats took on a darker symbolism in medieval Europe. They became associated with witchcraft, particularly during the Middle Ages. It was believed that witches would shapeshift into black cats, or that black cats were their familiars, supernatural beings that assisted them. This superstition led to widespread persecution of both witches and black cats during the witch hunts. Which
I did find out yesterday from like multiple resources on the internet, from like I think the University of Alabama. Did one, as well as I'll have to find my quote, my facts afterwards, but trust me, I did my research. But it dates back to like the 1300s to like the 1500s, 1600s even, was
a long
like
time.
The prosecution of like nearly 200 people just being murdered, hanged for being accused of witchcraft, which was associated with black cats because they were kept around in a lot of females' houses because they caught mice. And women were like typically like to be cleanly, which is also why they had brooms, or which is what they classified as a witch's broom.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
So it's just, they speculated a lot based on like how women just wanted to be cleanly and tidy.
They were like, no, you're a witch.
Yeah,
You want to
the
be
literally
clean and you
witch.
want to keep the rats out of the house.
Mainly, and the
No.
most people that were accused were midwives, healers, or
Yeah.
basically women that just kind of did not fit the normative of how women was supposed to be perceived by men, at least in the 13 to 1500 era.
Yeah.
And I think we did a lot of research on what, like, the first couple of witches that were prosecuted, like Margaret Smith.
She was the one. She was like the herbal, like she had like these herbal little like, I want to say potions, but like,
yeah. Let me double check.
yeah.
See, I got my notes, you guys.
We're prepared.
I bring my notes because I like to do my research.
Yeah.
No, but for real, this stuff is really interesting, and I've always actually wanted to like do my research on things like this.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how just the times change and just comparing how like things are so different from now, and how like I'm so thankful that science exists and facts and like we actually know what we're doing. I think
yes, literally. And do you remember when they literally said they even prosecuted women and executed them as witches if they had something as simple as a birthmark?
Oh yes. Oh yeah,
they were classified as a devil's mark.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have been hanged a long time ago.
They also, a lot of women who were herbalists and healers and midwives were also falsely executed or falsely prosecuted as witches based on the fact that they were seen as rival competition to other male physicians who felt that they were not as competent, possibly. So they were just like, oh no, she's a witch. She's my competition. She needs to get out of here.
She needs to leave. Wow. That is...
I mean, history does have a way of repeating itself,
I was going to say, I'm like, that sounds very similar to kind of what's going on now a bit.
I mean, history does repeat itself, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
So. What
That's
else
crazy.
did we find out? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Not Margaret Smith. I apologize. Her name was Margaret Jones.
Oh, okay. She was the one that was accused by the doctor.
She was killed as classified as a witch in the year of 1520. She was a midwife, and she claimed that people would suffer if they did not use her medicine. But in the way of they took it as out of context in the sense of saying that if they did not use what she was making, that then people by her power would continue to live in suffering. When really I think her intentions were, my medicine is healing people, it's working, so if you guys stop using it, it's not going to work, and you will end up continuously being in pain as you were right now. But they were just like, oh no, she's going to make sure that we never not feel pain. And then they just kind of ran with it.
I feel like a little bit of it, or maybe even a lot of it, was just how like women didn't have like rights then. They didn't care about them. So it's like they found any reason to almost just, I don't know. Yeah. Just try to like.
Western Europe had a really interesting 300 years, I would say. Because I feel like them killing nearly 200 people by hanging them just on the fact of just nothing it had to do a lot with, you know, the church and religion too, and it was crazy. It was very interesting.
It goes very deep.
Yes,
it goes really deep.
The way they depict these people in court is funny too, because they depict them as if they're like witches, like using powers and magic and things. And remember we saw that picture of,
the drawing of like the depiction of like what it looked like or something like that.
A trial, and like she flung her handcuffs off and they were like in the air or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Like, and then there was like a guy that fainted on the ground and we were like, come on now.
I'm like, come on, that's so dramatic.
That, speaking of, it reminded me of the show that I recommended you watching, and if you haven't watched this, I recommend it, called The Outlander.
Oh yes, we did talk about that yesterday.
Long story short, it's about a woman who accidentally time travels back into, you can't quote me on how long ago it was, but it was during the time where Scotland was trying to break away from England, trying to the resistance and everything like that. So Yeah, and
Very interesting.
Yeah, during her honeymoon, she accidentally time travels and she gets herself into a little bit of a pickle. And it's steamy and it's so good, and
you highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
I need to watch it. Once I'm done with Game of Thrones, I will hop on that and watch
show,
Outlanders, because
give
that
us
sounds
an
like
update also on how far you are in that.
So, okay. Well, real quickly before we like pivot off somewhere else, I did want to talk about a little bit about the other like black cat
first.
facts, because so we know like medieval Europe, they were like, black cats are a no. You're a witch, get rid of her, right?
You're a witch, yes.
Right. Ancient Egypt, they like them, they worship them. Sailors believe that black cats brought good luck, especially if they were kept on ships. A black cat on board was thought to ensure safe passage, to protect them against storms. Some sailors' families also kept black cats at home to guarantee their sailor safe return. And then if I keep scrolling down, I see where they talk about like I think it's in Asia, somewhere over there, where it's like the opposite. So it's like if you see a black cat or a white cat. A white cat. If you see a white cat and it crosses paths with you, that's like bad omen. They're like bad luck or something like that.
Really?
And black cats there, if you see one, you spot one or walks past you, it's like good luck. So it's interesting to see how like, how just cats are just like, I don't know. I'm sure it's not just cats, it's other animals too, of course, like, you know. But it's interesting to see the different things that people come up with and associate things with, like good luck or bad luck, bad omens or stuff like that. So it's very interesting because like I could never see myself ever being like, I'm never gonna get a black cat, or I'm never gonna have a white cat because
it's
bad
funny.
Omen or bad luck. Like, are you kidding me?
It's still so funny that we still connect black cats to like Halloween.
Yeah,
to
we
witches.
Still do.
Like,
yes.
You can thank, honestly, Sabrina the witch for doing that.
Was that the little puppet
cat?
The
one
Salem,
you were talking about?
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Her cat Salem. That was her familiar.
Oh, so, that's right. Okay, yeah.
So, and then Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which was also a really good show too. I liked. She had.
What was it on? What did it air on?
Netflix.
Oh, it was Netflix. Oh, I don't know. I was thinking like it was like
last
old,
season
like Cartoon Network or like Nickelodeon or something.
Last season was disappointing, honestly.
Oh, okay.
And you can argue with me in the comments about that one, but I can.
That was not good.
Most of the people that have watched that show agree that the ending of that was pretty disappointing.
Oh, okay.
But I will say most of it was pretty good. Other than the fact that Salem was, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it already, get over it because it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Salem turns into like a giant ass monster.
Oh, you did tell me about that.
Her. So like, it's just funny that we still like, it's still ingrained into like.
It is.
I don't know.
It still is, like,
into
even
today's
now,
history.
Even now, like people won't like adopt black cats or
they
black
still
dogs
have a hesitancy of it. Yeah.
Or because they're boring, or they're just not as like cool looking or whatever. Like they're usually the ones that are like the last resort, I think. So what people say online.
Yes.
But it's really sad. Yeah, it's crazy.
I do want to say
like
one interesting thing that we did talk about is that we did discover as well was the first witches that were executed and accused of witchcraft, which is in like 1566 in Essex by Agnes Waterhouse. Remember, she was the one I told you she was accused of murdering her neighbor and her husband in 1557. And she was the one that claimed that she had evil spirits inside of her. She had a demon inside of her. Like, she was the one that was instilling fear on people. I'm not really exactly sure why, but in the article that I read, they said that she probably was showing signs of mental illness.
Yeah.
Which is probably why she was like saying all these things, because she also had a cat by the name. Well, she claimed that the evil spirit was in the form of a black cat named Satan. Which was so funny, not funny, but like interesting. Like, back even in 1566, that's what the name of it is. And then she's claimed that she was hurting animals and livestock, killing them, and things like that.
But she said this.
Yes. She said this.
We think she was, or
there was claim.
She was
there
mentally
was,
ill.
Yeah, they thought that she was probably like, she probably had some type of mental illness.
Now, but like then they thought she was a witch.
Right. Because of
but realistically, she just had a mental illness.
Exactly.
Was she actually hurting the cat though?
No, that was the evil spirit that she claimed was inside of her, was in the form of a black cat named Satan.
But causing her to harm livestock and pets and stuff like that?
Yes.
So she was actually harming the cat?
I don't know if she was harming the cat.
I hope
she was
not.
harming like pigs and geese and like all those things, like livestock animals.
Oh, that's terrible. But why do I care? I also eat meat.
True.
Like, I feel bad, but I'm like, wait, that's kind of hypocritical. Anyways.
And then in 1325, in Ireland, they had their first witch named Alice Keitler. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
That's okay.
But this one was pretty interesting because she has actually a pretty interesting story where she actually escaped to England in 1325 because she was accused of witchcraft after 4 of her husbands died.
Oh, that's when I told you. I was like, oh, is it because they ate like moldy bread or something?
They don't know. They just kept saying like they suddenly died of illness, all 4 of them.
But she didn't.
No. So then she fled to England, came back a year or 2 later, was accused of witchcraft, and her disciples were like whipped in the streets, tied to like the horse,
the carriage.
What was it? No, not the carriage. The back of a horse, like
the saddle.
Kind of like just dragged, basically, and then burned at the stake.
Oh, like they were dragged like on the floor.
Yes,
from the horses.
Like they were tied behind in the back of a horse.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So
I heard that's that's very not fun.
No, and it was.
I don't mean to laugh, but
no, it's just crazy that like men really do hate women, don't they?
That's a whole other topic right there. But like,
look at it, bro. Look at it. Look at it. That's crazy. I mean, it's really sad.
Why were they?
I think it's kind of a piece of history that we kind of graze past because, I mean, although yes, we know that witchcraft isn't real. People do have different practices. Everyone has their own religion as they're allowed to exercise to their own extent.
But yeah, like you said, it's interesting.
But
it's very grazed over.
It's still something that I feel like should have been talked about. Like it was not just like a year or 2 of this things happening. This was over 300 years.
Yeah, 300 years is a long time. That's multiple lives, multiple lifetimes.
Yeah, 1300s to like 16 something, like 1630 something. Like that's really sad, and I'm sure it didn't just abruptly end. And I think we found out one of the reasons why it abruptly ended was one of the governor's daughters was accused of witchcraft, and then he just said like, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
No, witchcraft actually, it's not a thing, guys.
Right.
It's not a thing.
He's like, on second thought.
Oh, one of my loved ones is being accused? Can't be real.
Right. Right.
It can't apply to me or my family. Like,
he's like,
what?
She doesn't count.
She doesn't count.
Eeny, skip.
You're like, guys, actually.
He put the skip Uno reverse card out.
Literally. He said,
skip your turn.
He said, I'm not going.
I'm
That's
not
actually
going.
crazy. That is crazy.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of fun fact information about
little history lesson.
Little witchy background information that we found pretty interesting. Especially, I think it's a good introduction for the spooky season to start.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
We're going to talk about some spooky stuff.
There's definitely going to be a few more episodes where we talk about other spooky
conspiracies,
things.
ghost stories, maybe.
We'll get into those for sure.
Spooky.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited because although this stuff is obviously serious and it's like messed up, but it's very interesting to talk about and just think about all the things that have happened in history and even the things now that are happening now. I mean, there's so much stuff going on, like, you know, oh my gosh, when is it gonna end?
I don't think it ever will.
I know.
I don't know. I will remember we were talking a little bit about our history teacher, our government teacher, and the one thing I will never forget him saying was history always repeats itself. He said that
That's so funny you say that, because I was literally thinking the same thing when you first said it here on the pod. You were like, history repeats itself. I was like, that sounds like something my teacher said.
Yes, because he said
And
that
he said
to
that.
us, and I never forgot it.
I never forgot it either.
Ever since he said that, it just like I see it.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes the world
It's so true.
have a different way of viewing things.
He's so right.
He's
so right with that.
Very much so. Very much
Even
so.
even like the little things too, not even like historical things, like just everyday things. I realize I'm like, what the frick?
I know.
I don't want to get into detail, but like I'm just like, that's crazy. I don't know.
I agree,
but
I know exactly what you're trying to say. Yeah. So what is the next topic? Yes. Now that we've delved into that, I wanted to get a little update on your Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes.
Rehash, give us a little bit of a review. What episode are you on?
Yes,
what have you experienced? I know you were pretty traumatized the last time I talked to you. I know exactly the Red Wedding. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
She just experienced that for the first time, and it was very traumatizing for her. So
it was very traumatizing. I love the show though. Like before, I know in the last episode, I think it was the last episode of the first one. I don't remember. I think it was the last one. But I had said how I stopped watching Game of Thrones because like it would like give me anxiety and stuff like that.
Yes. It gives you anxiety, but it gives you anxiety in a good way.
It does.
You don't want to look, but you have to.
Exactly.
Nobody's safe.
Nope. Nobody's safe.
That's what she's learned.
And I love like as much as I like hate some of the characters so much.
Go on.
But they keep the show. So
go on. Who? You like Cersei, don't you?
I kind of... Okay, I love her hair, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, her hair eats. Okay? It looks so good all the time. But I will say, I hate
her long locks?
Yeah, her beautiful long locks. Oh, my gosh. I'm like... Anyways.
If you know, you know.
Oh.
I'm not saying anything.
Wait a minute.
I'm not saying anything, girl.
Little
I know.
A little
just keep going. Just keep talking.
Okay, so right now I'm on season 4, episode, I want to say 5 or 6. I'm not 100% sure which episode I'm on, but I'm on season 4 right now. And we left off on the part where Sansa is back in her aunt's place, and she's a crazy nut job, and Sir Loras, I think, is like in love with her aunt or whatever. They have like a thing going on, but it's kind of secret.
Poor Sansa.
I feel so bad for her. I literally was telling you the other day, I'm like, if I were her, I would have jumped out.
I know.
Like that poor
she
girl.
Really is the strongest of them all, isn't she?
Yeah, like she is really put up with a lot.
Yes.
And we came to Joffrey's death. Okay, so we saw
we did rehash that. We did talk about that. You
so
did say how you were jumping for joy. You did say you were jumping for joy for that child.
But I was not expecting him to die that way. I will say that.
To choke on his own blood, essentially.
Yeah. I was not expecting that at all. And I also didn't expect who did it.
Oh, I know.
I was not expecting that at all.
I know. You can say it, bro. Like,
I'll say it.
Like,
I don't even know
the
her
show
name,
has been out for so long. So we can talk about it like that. It was the grandma of the girl who
she's from Highgarden? Whatever.
Somewhere.
She's from that
she was
place
supposed
over
to marry her Cersei's youngest son, right?
She was supposed to marry Joffrey,
and now she's supposed to marry the youngest son,
Tommen or something like that,
because he's next in line.
Mm-hmm. But her grandmother was like, "You think I'm gonna?" What did she say? She was like, "You think I'm gonna let you marry Joffrey?
Yes.
No way."
He's a terrible human being.
He was awful.
He was terrible.
And it's funny because, like, I think the episode after that, Cersei talks to, you know, the girl that was supposed to marry Joffrey, and she, like, admitted, like, yeah, like, Joffrey's a piece of shit. But that's my son. And, like, I love him no matter what. Like, I know he's, like, a terrible person. People want him dead. But, like, that's my son.
He is the male form of Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
Equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
Equivalent.
Not to mention... Jaime and Cersei just getting it on right next to Joffrey's dead body. I was like, what?
Oh, I know. Like, this show never fails to amaze you, right?
Yeah, there's just constant I don't know
what the trend is with the lovers being related, but it seems to be a common trend, and I don't know why.
Like, what's going on here?
I don't know. Someone always stems from someone's family tree, and I'm just like...
Right. But I mean, I guess it is kind of like historically correct in a way, because didn't back then they used to do that all the time?
I'm sure they did.
Like, what was his face? The guy that was all deformed and he ran for king, and I think he died because he was just so like
yes, I
so
know exactly who
incest,
you're talking
like,
about. Yes, I know who you're talking about. I forget his name though.
I forgot his name too, but
yes, he was not a good looking fella.
Nope. No, he wasn't even fit to be king. He was just like, I don't know, it was like generations of like incest.
Yes.
That he just came out so deformed.
There is actually a family. I saw a documentary. There's a family that lives out in like the boondocks. That literally,
right now?
Yes, that is like literally.
Oh, I think I've seen a few videos. Is it like of the guy, but like he like barks?
I don't know. There's one guy. There's like a whole bunch of them in one house.
It's like a town?
No, in one house.
Oh, it's a house. Just
and
a house.
Yeah, they're like related. All of them are related, but they don't look. It's giving hills have eyes.
I think I know what you're talking about, because I think I saw a video and it was a guy and he was just like barking.
Did he have overalls on?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But
there was a dog and the dog kept barking. He was barking with the dog, and yeah, it was a little interesting.
They were probably communicating.
He has powers. Sorry. All the incest. He developed powers. Oh.
What's his name? He has to have a name.
The dog?
No.
The guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
I have no idea.
Supercessed.
Supercessed? Oh my god.
Supercessed. He's a super one.
We're going to hell. Wow.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny stuff.
Yeah. But Game of Thrones, though, it's really, really good. And I can't wait to watch the other episodes. And I can't watch any of the other episodes right now because I'm watching it with my boyfriend. So I
know. It's so easy to get lost in it.
Dude, this past weekend, that is all that we did. We did not leave my bed. We were rotting in my bed.
Just binge watching.
Sometimes
you just need a good day like that.
It's
just
so
binge
good.
Watch.
Okay, we've been doing it for a while now. I'm like, maybe we need to stop.
Actually,
like, I have not seen daylight.
And those episodes are long.
They are so
long. What are they, like,
but
an
they don't
hour?
even feel long. That's the thing. It's like, it's that good that it feels like it's like 15-minute episode.
Oh,
and
I
I'm
know.
Wait.
And how many episodes are in each season? There's a decent amount of them, too.
In each season, I want to say there's like about 10 to 15 episodes.
Yeah, and they're like an hour long each.
Yep.
Like, damn.
That's a long, yeah. Been rotting in that bed.
For real. Like,
watching Game of Thrones.
It's
so good.
But I don't blame you. That show's obsessive, and I wouldn't want to leave my room either.
I almost wanted to dress up as like Cersei for Halloween. But I was like,
I want to dress up like Cersei too, but I want to dress up with like her after like.
No, don't spoil anything.
No, I want to dress up with her. She's like season 6, season 7.
Oh, okay. I'm like, don't tell me. Because yesterday you spoiled something. Honestly, you said I was gonna forget, and I sure did. I don't remember, but I know you did spoil something.
See, I know her so well, and she acted like she was offended. She acted offended, and I was like, don't act like you.
How dare you spoil that? And I don't even know what she said. I
know,
remember.
and I'm not gonna repeat it. So all I know is that Robb Stark, rip, he's the love of my life.
Dude, that was crazy.
I know, that episode was so messed up.
I was like, oh, that's what Vanessa was talking about.
That is so messed up. Like,
it was
so
really messed up. All because Robb didn't want to marry one of her daughters.
So many major characters got cut off in that episode.
I really thought Robb was gonna like go to war and they were all gonna like defeat the White Walkers all together, but nope. Nothing.
No, I don't think they would ever have a chance of beating the White Walkers. I mean, I'm saying that genuinely, in a general sense.
Oh.
Like, they're dead.
But the dragon glass or whatever it's called.
They don't have enough of it, do they?
Oh, I don't know. We're not there yet.
I don't know. Do they have enough of it?
I don't know. All I know is that one guy, he like stabbed the one and he just
it shattered. They shattered, right?
Yeah.
And then the one guy saw it, right? One of the leaders. He saw it happen, right?
I don't think so.
Oh,
or maybe.
I thought he saw them, like one of them get killed. Like, wasn't one of them like a leader?
I know one of the guys that was in the Night's Watch that went to take that girl out from, what is it, Craters or something like that?
Oh, yeah, where he has like 60 wives or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're young.
He was taking her out with the baby and like trying to like escape, and he came across a White Walker, stabbed in the back, and shattered.
Right? Yeah,
yeah. And right now I'm on the part where I forget the other kid's name, the Ned's child, the one with the paralyzed legs.
Brandon?
I forget his name. Brandon, yes.
Or is it
he's
Landon?
at that tree. I think it's Brandon.
Okay.
I think.
Brandon.
But he's at that tree. I don't know what happens with that tree, but
he's
at the tree.
Yes, the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Is he with Hodo?
No, but you know what my dad said? He was saying that Hodo, it's like it's very significant.
It is.
And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
But he was like, it's very like you'll understand why he says it all the time.
Yes.
And I was like,
yes. He shouldn't have told you that.
I'm like, I want to know.
He shouldn't have said that to you.
He shouldn't have, but he sure did. But like, I'm like I need to know.
No, it's really interesting.
Really?
Yes, you'll find out, and it's oh my god, I got chills when I found out.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
Hodo.
gosh.
Hodo.
Oh boy.
He's so cute.
Oh,
isn't he? Like he's just so big and just Hodo.
No, he's kind of scary looking.
He's so sweet though. He protects Brandon.
He does. No, he does.
He protects him.
I like how Brandon like went through his eyeballs or whatever and like killed that one guy. Like
I
his
know.
neck and, like, his collarbone was hanging out.
He literally like has like the mind control thing or whatever. Yes, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a warg. I think that's what they call him. He's like a warg or something.
Yeah, I
like,
forget.
Also, I didn't know Jon Snow was actually married to the girl that he was like with in Game of Thrones.
The wildling.
Yeah, the wildling. Yeah. The Last of Us. That's coming out. That's another one that's coming out, and I'm really excited.
You guys
to watch
are not
that one.
ready for when we recap these episodes.
Yes. Okay,
I don't think I'm ready.
Happen.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready either.
I wasn't ready when I saw it. I wasn't ready then. I'm not going to be ready now.
I know.
I'm just never going to be ready because Joel is the love of my life.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal is the love of my life.
Mi amor. No, okay.
Mi amor.
Or am I? We took a little break. We got some snacks.
We did. We got a little bit of a refreshment. Mm-hmm. So we were saying, we were following in Speaking of Crime. There's a really hot topic going on that I feel like we just need to jump on the bandwagon with, because me and you are big true crime junkies anyway. So I feel like this fits perfectly for the pod. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anybody knows. Well, I'm sure everybody knows. There's a whole docu-series that just came out, directed by Ryan Murphy, from the Monster series, that also featured the Jeffrey Dahmer series with Evan Peters.
Very good, by the way.
Agreed. And then he just came out with another docu-series with the Menendez Brothers. Now, there's so much talk about it on are they innocent? Are they guilty? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they killed 2 people. Mm-hmm. We can't deny that. That's what they were on trial for. They killed 2 people.
Yep.
Now, in the act of self-defense is where people are questioning their motives.
That's where it gets a little gray.
Yes.
It's all black and white.
Yes.
So we're getting into the gray areas here.
So just to do a little recap on if you don't really know what happened, essentially, if you don't really know about the case, long story short, Menendez brothers, Eric and Lyle Menendez, 18 and 21 at the time, 1989, killed their father, Jose and Kitty Menendez, at their Beverly mansion. Shot their mother in the face, basically shot them to death. The prosecutors, basically their defense was that they were doing this for financial gain, that they wanted to inherit most of the money from their father, that they were just doing this all for the plot of just inheriting fortune.
Right.
Reason being was because after they committed these murders, they proceeded to go on a lavish spending spree, where they bought Rolex watches, cars, clothes, partying.
Which they did do.
Yes, they did do this. They did do this. This is true. And this is not just from the documentary, because I actually have not seen it yet. I've actually been I followed this story a long time ago. I watched an Amazon Prime story, and I've listened to multiple true crime, especially Crime Junkie They've covered stories like this. Stephanie Sue has covered stories like this
I've
before.
heard of Crime
Like
Junkie.
these are very, very old cases that people have already talked about that I've heard. So it's not like this is my first time hearing it, but seems like it is the first time for a lot of other people that are hearing of the story.
First time for me.
Yeah, which
I had
is
no
kind
idea.
of insane
I
because
have no idea.
I guess if you don't really think about it, I mean, most people, I mean, if you're not really a true crime junkie like that, you're not really going to know most of these stories. But this was an infamous story that was covered in the United States during the time because they were two attractive
Right.
white men that
Committed terrible.
acts, but pleaded in self-defense on the case that their father was sexually abusing them.
Now, whether that's true or not.
That is also where we don't know if that's true or not. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know.
But usually when people, and I know this is kind of like, when people say like, oh, I was sexually abused, to lie about that is crazy. You know, when you hear, oh, I was sexually abused by this person, my immediate reaction is like, oh my God, that's terrible. Okay, maybe I can see why you were so upset. But if you were to lie about that happening is like,
and you know, they were so emotional on the stand when they were talking about it that it's hard not to believe that this really did happen to them. And I do believe that did probably happen to them when they were growing up. Maybe something like that really did happen. But a lot of people are like, okay, why didn't they just leave? Why didn't they just leave?
Right.
And that's where the whole plot of financial gain comes into play. But also there were mixed stories of them, versions of people saying that the Menendez brothers only stayed because that they were threatened by their father that blackmailed essentially. So that's why they stayed. But we don't know if that's actually true either. But long story short, after this story came out and this docuseries came out, Netflix just released another documentary featuring the Menendez brothers talking about their real story.
Actually featuring them?
From behind bars.
Oh, wow. Wait, this didn't come out yet?
No, it's out now.
Oh, it's out now?
Just dropped this weekend.
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet, so I think I am going to watch it.
Yeah, we should watch it.
I agree.
We should watch it so we can cover it.
I agree. And everyone's like, why do you care about this story? Like,
it's interesting.
This happened then. It happened like years ago. Why are we still caring about stuff like this? Because they're actually thinking about reevaluating some new evidence that's coming to light that could potentially get them out of prison. Which is crazy because they're serving a life sentence with no possibility of parole.
Wow. So that'd be crazy for that to just like tables
Since
turn and then now they're...
1996.
Wow. So how old are they now? Like how old were they?
How
old were they when
18 and 21.
18 and 21 and now they're like...
Oh, they're
40s.
like 50s probably.
50s? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're older now, yeah. Wow. I'm pretty sure one of them is married. I don't know how that's possible. Yeah.
Oh. Behind bars?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
like, the wife is like free?
Yeah.
She's doing her own thing? Oh. Well, we know how that's going. I'm sorry, but like, no. I'm sorry. No. Ain't no way.
So, no.
No. Mm-mm.
So,
yeah, that'll be very interesting to cover. We should definitely watch it because I didn't know.
Yes. I have seen snippets of the docuseries that Ryan Murphy made. And in some of the scenes that I have seen, they're very explicit on the things that they talk about. And
can we dive into a little bit?
It's kind of sad to hear. Well, long story short, one of the brothers went into detail with their lawyer about the abuse that they were enduring. And he said that, I think it was Eric. Long story short, they said that they started sneaking cinnamon into the father's food so that his bodily fluids would taste better.
Wait, the kids did that?
Yeah.
So they wanted to dive into the world of cannibalism?
No, like the father like was abusing them. So like bodily fluids, I mean.
Oh.
Yeah. That's sick, right?
That is, yeah. Both are pretty sick.
Yeah.
But like I was not expecting the other one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they want to like
no.
His blood, it tastes like cinnamon.
No.
No. It's not blood.
No.
Wow.
And then he also said that the father was putting lemon juice on their food so their taste buds would go numb. So this is apparently what this is in the scene that I watched, okay?
And this is what the lawyer said, that those kids had told him. But we don't know if that's true or not. We have no idea if that's actually true.
I mean, I feel like something like that to make up.
I know what I'm saying.
It's too detailed to not, like, too graphic to just randomly put in there.
Right.
You know?
Like, there definitely had to have been a reason why they did what they did.
Right.
You know?
Like, why go on the lavish spending sprees? Why, you know, why spend all this money and to do it out of self-defense, but it really wasn't at the time self-defense, because it kind of just ran up on them and like just killed them.
And let's get into why they killed the mom, because the mom didn't do any. They didn't say that she had like sexually abused them, but
apparently she had knowledge and just didn't do anything about it.
Okay, so she was witnessing these things happening and didn't do anything about it. So just let it happen.
Yes, and what's crazy is that this family was such a cookie cutter blue collar family, looking like one, that people were like, you never would have expected like something so dark to be happening behind the scenes, because like Kitty was like a good person, like seemed like a good person. Jose seemed like a good person. Like they had two boys who were smart, who had a lot going for them.
Right. A lot of things going for them. You would never expect that. You would think you come from, from a wealthy family and all this and that. Like, how could there be such dark things happening when you have what a lot of people wish they had?
Yes.
Home, house. Hold on. Whoa. Same thing, girl. Home, car, resources, money. Yeah. It's crazy.
So when they did go on trial, it was a hung jury.
Yeah, what?
A hung jury. So that means there was no actual, the jury could not come out with a verdict.
Like a reason.
Like they couldn't come out with a guilty or not guilty verdict.
Okay.
Retrial started, second trial. All the sexual abuse allegations were withheld. Most of them. And they were found guilty.
They were withheld.
Yep. Most of the sexual abuse allegations were withheld in the second trial.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was probably because they can neither confirm nor deny that actually happened, because, I mean, the victim is no longer alive. But the reason why they're considering reopening this case or even reevaluating their sentencing is because there's a letter. We don't know. Supposedly there's a letter.
Okay. Who's the letter from?
Eric Menendez.
Oh, okay.
Wrote a letter to his cousin in 1988, a year before the murders actually happened, mentioning the sexual abuse.
Oh, okay.
Which could give indication that really did happen and give them motive.
Right.
So if that does happen, if there's a real letter that the cousin really does have that was actually written by him in 1988, it could potentially change some things in the trial, and then things could look different, because now there's actual proof that there was sexual abuse going on, and now there's actually a motive.
The letter. Interesting. So my question is, why is that letter being brought up now and not then? Or were they like working on it before they decided to put it out there, that like, oh yeah, there was this letter, but we knew about this letter? You know what I'm saying?
Good question. I don't know. I'm not really sure. There's not really any explanation, because there's not really more information on the letter. They just know that there's just speculation saying that there is one, and that's what is being told to the public. I mean, we don't know. The legal defense team and everything is even saying like these are yet to be confirmed without us actually looking at the evidence.
Okay.
So they haven't come out with anything yet. So I guess we just have to wait till like we actually hear real news and true facts, because that's what we do. We wait for real facts and information before we act like we know what we're talking about. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the Let's Not Meet Reddit threads.
Okay, Reddit is scary.
Yes, Reddit is so scary. And the Let's Not Meet Reddit threads and the story of the... Didn't I play that story? The My Wife Keeps Peeking at Me Behind Corners. We'll talk about that too. Oh my God, that would be such a great... Just wait, guys. We have so many more creepy stories to delve into and things like that. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes.
We're also still thinking about our costumes, so we need some ideas.
We do need some ideas, but we'll get it. We'll get it going. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about a lot more juicy things for this month of October. We're gonna dive in. Oh my God, ew.
I hope this episode was entertaining today.
I had a lot of fun filming it.
Me
it was
too.
very entertaining.
I know. I love the topics that we talked about today.
Me too. It's always a lot of fun.
It's fun to talk about, like, just like, you know, with
History.
everything going on in the world, we just need a little bit of a break from it, you know, to clear our heads, to get a little bit of just some positive mind space and, you know.
Yep, that's true.
So
that's true.
But I do want to say before we wrap up our episode, just so we let everyone know that we still are in tune with everything that's going on. So, like, of course, like, we want to thoughts and prayers and wishes to people dealing with the hurricane and everything in Florida. And
Yes. It's a very scary time, and
take your pets. Don't leave your
the
pets.
best for them, because that's really, really scary.
Yes.
So thoughts and prayers.
Don't leave your pets.
Hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone
is evacuating
and getting out safely, and everything's going good. Scary
stuff.
time.
Scary stuff. So climate change.
Yeah, literally. Yep. Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
All right. Oh, we need our king. Our king has returned.
He's here for the outro.
He is. He wants to say,
like, it's time to wrap it up, ladies.
Yes.
Oh, we have another one.
Oh, we have another king.
Another guest appearance. Hi, Shuggy.
Oh my gosh. How are we wrapping this up? You're good at wrapping things up. I'm not.
Oh.
You go ahead. You take over.
Well, thanks for sitting with us for another 30 to 45 minutes, taking the time out of your day to listen and watch us.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully you like this episode. Again, still thinking about costume ideas. So,
yes. Let us know in the comments.
Yes. And we have plenty of stories loaded up, spooky stuff to talk about this month. So can't wait.
Yes. Can't wait.
And
this month of October, we're going to talk about some really good things.
Yes. Very exciting. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.